Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a quiet forest. Sunlight filters gently through the canopy above, and the soft chirping of birds floats through the breeze. You close your eyes to meditate, but then a sudden fear creeps in. Perhaps it's the sound of footsteps in the distance, or the wind howling unexpectedly. Your heart starts pounding, breath quickens. Do you retreat, or do you learn to stand still and breathe with the fear? This is the moment of quantum flow, a state where you stop running from emotions and begin to receive them, embrace them, and alchemize them into strength. Because here's the truth. When you fully feel fear without judgment, it begins to dissolve. The speaker in the original video says, "Fear is not the enemy. Resistance to fear is." It's a simple but profound lesson. Fear doesn't hurt us, our resistance to it does. Many people never learn this truth. Understanding energy flow, stop swimming against the current in quantum physics. Everything is energy. Your mood is frequency. Fear vibrates at a very low frequency. When you resist it, you trap that energy in your field. But when you breathe with it, observe it like a passing cloud, you return to a state of flow where you harmonize with the natural rhythm of the universe. In that state, you're no longer enduring life, you're dancing with it. Each time fear arises, you return to your breath. It's the bridge between your body and your soul. You stop trying to control the river. You learn to float with an open heart. I once experienced a panic attack in the middle of a crowded space. Couldn't breathe, heart racing, cold sweat pouring. But when I stopped fighting it, when I closed my eyes, placed my hand over my chest, and whispered, "I'm safe. I'm just afraid, and that's okay," the panic slowly melted. That was quantum flow in real life. Picture this. You're walking on a high rope, balanced carefully between the world of peace and the pull of fear. One gust of wind, maybe bad news, a judgmental look, or a memory from the past, and your balance wavers. This is life. But what if I told you that you carry within you the tools to not only regain balance, but to walk with grace, eyes open, heart steady? In this part, we'll explore simple, practical tools to stay in alignment with your quantum field, even when fear rushes in like a tidal wave. These aren't theories. They're techniques you can use today, right now, even while reading this. Cloud Tool 1. The breath break. Return to the present. The speaker in the original video reminds us. When fear arises, go back to the breath. Let the breath lead. This isn't just about calming down. It's about stepping out of the mind and into the now. Fear lives in the future. Presence dissolves it. When you feel triggered, pause. Inhale slowly for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Do this 3 times. You'll be surprised how your body relaxes and your mind clears. This is you aligning your inner frequency, manually tuning your body back into the higher vibration of peace. Sun Tool 2. Embodiment. Shake. Dance. Move. Fear is energy. An energy that isn't expressed gets stored, often in your belly, your chest, your shoulders. So when fear arrives, move your body. Yes, stand up. Shake your arms. Roll your shoulders. Let your body speak. In Vietnamese culture, when someone is grieving or scared, sometimes they move, they cry, they dance in trance states. They let it out. That's wisdom. Don't freeze. Flow. As the video reminds us, motion creates emotion. The moment you move, you shift. The moment you shift, fear loses power. In every life, there are moments of challenge. These are the moments that shape us, refine us, and reveal the strength we didn't know we had. Today, we'll journey into the stories of people who faced their fears, using the practices we've discussed, and found transformation not despite their struggles, but because of them. These are real stories of people just like you and me. People who once felt overwhelmed by fear but discovered that when they turned towards it, something remarkable happened. Healing, growth, and freedom. Glowing Star Story 1. The story of Anna. Embracing the fear of failure. Anna was a woman who had spent most of her life avoiding failure. She believed that failure was the worst thing that could happen to her. For years, she played it safe, never pursuing her dreams fully, always staying in the comfort zone. She had been conditioned by society to believe that to fail was to be worthless. This fear dominated her life, controlling her every decision. One day, Anna took a leap. She decided to start her own business, a decision that terrified her. What if I fail? What if no one buys my products? What if I let everyone down? These questions swirled in her mind like a storm. But then, she remembered the quantum flow practices, the breath, the movement, the observation. The next time fear came, she paused. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and spoke out loud. I feel scared of failing, but I am willing to take the risk. She moved her body to release the tension, and she gently placed her hand over her heart, calming her anxious thoughts. Instead of running from her fear, she welcomed it. She saw it for what it was, a part of her journey, not the enemy. And in doing so, her fear began to lose its power. She went on to launch her business, and while there were struggles along the way, she learned from each experience. She realized that failure wasn't the end. It was a stepping stone to greater growth. Anna's story reminds us that failure is not to be feared. It is an invitation to rise higher. When you face it, you transform. And when you transform, you step into your true potential. Glowing Star Story 2. The story of Luis. Overcoming the fear of rejection. Luis had always been a people pleaser. His fear of rejection kept him from expressing his true self. He lived for the approval of others, constantly molding himself to fit what people expected of him. The fear of rejection was so strong that it affected his relationships, his career, and his sense of self-worth. One day, Luis found himself at a crossroads. He wanted to speak his truth in a relationship but feared the other person would reject him. If I say what I truly feel, will they leave me? Will they think I'm weak or unworthy? The fear of being judged and abandoned paralyzed him. But then, Luis remembered the teachings of quantum flow. He understood that rejection wasn't personal, it was a reflection of the other person's energy, not his. He took a deep breath, placed his hand on his heart, and whispered, I am worthy of love and acceptance, just as I am. He allowed himself to feel the fear without judgment. He realized that fear was only a signal to grow, not something to avoid. He expressed his feelings openly and honestly, and to his surprise, the relationship grew stronger because of his vulnerability. Luis learned that when you embrace fear, it loses its hold on you. Luis's story teaches us that rejection is not the end. It is an opportunity for self-discovery. When you embrace who you truly are, you attract the people who resonate with your authentic self. And in doing so, you align with the flow of the universe. Story 3. The story of Tina. Transforming anxiety into courage. Tina had been living with chronic anxiety for years. Her mind was constantly racing, filled with worries about the future. What if something bad happens? What if I'm not prepared? What if I fail? Her anxiety held her back from living fully. It prevented her from traveling, from taking risks, from experiencing life to its fullest. It felt like a heavy weight that she carried with her every day. One day, Tina decided she had had enough. She began practicing the tools of quantum flow. She focused on her breath, consciously releasing the tension in her body. She spoke her fears out loud, acknowledging them without shame. I am anxious right now, but I choose to embrace this moment. She moved her body, shaking out the tension, and slowly, she began to feel a shift. The anxiety didn't disappear overnight, but Tina learned how to move through it. Instead of letting it control her, she began to see it as a signal that she was growing. Each time she faced her fear with compassion, she gained more courage. Tina eventually traveled the world, faced new challenges, and realized that anxiety was not an enemy, it was a teacher. Tina's journey teaches us that anxiety, while uncomfortable, is a messenger. It asks us to expand, to grow, to rise above our limitations. When you move with it, rather than against it, you discover your own strength. Summary of this part. Embracing fear as a gateway to growth. These stories show us that fear is not something to run away from. It is a powerful force that can propel us forward when we learn to embrace it. Anna, Luis, and Tina all faced their fears, and through the practice of quantum flow, they found freedom, growth, and transformation. When you are aligned with the quantum field, fear no longer controls you. You stop reacting from a place of survival, and you begin to respond from a place of wisdom, peace, and love. Fear, when faced with courage, becomes the fuel for your next great leap. Now that we've explored the depth of fear and transformation, it's time to discuss how to make quantum flow a natural part of your everyday existence. This practice isn't just for moments of deep fear or emotional turbulence. It is a powerful tool that can guide you through every situation, small or large, easy or challenging. The teachings we've uncovered so far can be implemented in simple, practical ways. They don't require you to become a master or have advanced skills, just a willingness to live more consciously and present. By integrating quantum flow into your daily routine, you begin to align yourself with your highest potential, naturally shifting the energy around you. Let's take a moment to explore how to carry the tools of quantum flow into your life every day, even in the smallest of actions. Cherry Blossom Daily Practices for Alignment 1. Mindful breathing to center yourself. One of the most effective tools you have in quantum flow is your breath. In every moment, your breath is a gateway to presence. Breathing with intention helps you remain aligned, grounded, and at peace. When you breathe mindfully, you clear away the mental clutter and invite a sense of calm to settle within you. Every morning, take a few minutes to sit quietly and focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling the air fill your belly. Hold it for a few seconds, then exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this cycle for 5 minutes, allowing yourself to settle into the moment. This simple practice is enough to set the tone for the day ahead. When fear or stress arises, pause and take a few deep breaths. Your breath becomes your anchor. It will always be there, offering you calm when you need it most. Body movement as a release. Quantum flow isn't just about the mind. It's about the body too. The body holds emotions, energy, and tension. By moving your body, you release what no longer serves you, creating space for new energy to flow. Incorporate small movements throughout your day. Stretching, shaking out your limbs, or even dancing. These actions help to shake off any stagnant energy. If you're feeling overwhelmed, move. If you're feeling stuck, move. If you're feeling energized, move with. 4. Gratitude practice for releasing fear. Fear and gratitude cannot coexist in the same space. When you focus on gratitude, you shift your energy to one of abundance, inviting more of what you desire into your life. The more you express gratitude, the less power fear will have over you. Start a gratitude journal. Every evening before bed, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They can be big or small. Anything that sparks appreciation in your heart. Gratitude shifts your perspective and reminds you of all the good that is already present in your life. Whenever fear arises, pause and ask yourself, what am I grateful for right now? Let this question shift your focus and energy. 5. Visioning for alignment with your highest self. Another powerful tool is visioning, creating a clear image of the life you desire and aligning your actions with that vision. This is not about getting things right or forcing the universe to provide. It is about connecting to the flow of energy that already exists within you and allowing that energy to guide your path. Each day, take a few moments to close your eyes and envision your ideal life. Visualize yourself as confident, aligned, and in perfect harmony with the universe. See yourself facing challenges with ease and grace, knowing that everything you need is already within you. This practice doesn't require effort, it requires faith. As you envision your highest self, trust that the universe is guiding you toward that reality. 6. Reflection and releasing. At the end of the day, at the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on your experiences. How did you handle the challenges? How did you respond to fear? What did you learn? Give yourself grace for any areas where you felt fear or resistance, and celebrate the moments when you remained aligned with your higher self. Before you sleep, take a few moments to release any energy or thoughts that no longer serve you. You can do this by imagining that you are surrounded by a soft, healing light, which gently dissolves any lingering tension or fear. Allow yourself to let go of everything that doesn't belong in your energy field. The power of consistency in quantum flow, as with any practice, the key to success is consistency. The more you integrate these practices into your daily routine, the more aligned you will become. Over time, you will notice that fear has less power over you, and your life begins to flow with greater ease and joy. The flow of quantum energy is not something you do once in a while. It is a way of being. Each breath, each movement, each affirmation is a step toward alignment. By incorporating these practices into your daily life, you create a strong foundation that supports you in moments of fear, allowing you to stay centered and in flow no matter the challenges that arise. How to stay in flow when life gets hard. So far, we've learned how to use quantum flow to align with our higher self, dissolve fear, and integrate these tools into daily life. But what happens when life throws you a curveball? When things fall apart? When someone leaves, when a job disappears, when illness strikes, or when the world feels like it's crumbling around you? These are the moments that truly test whether we're flowing with the universe or resisting it. Because let's be honest, staying in flow is easy when everything's going well. But when life breaks your heart, when fear knocks the wind out of you, that's when the real work begins. And yet, those are also the moments when transformation is the most powerful. Let's dive into how to remain in your energetic center, even when everything around you feels out of control.
The storm is not your enemy in Vietnamese culture. Tis a phase. Qua cơn bỉ cực đến hồi Thái Lai.
After suffering comes serenity. After the storm comes the calm. Quantum flow teaches us that chaos is not a punishment. It is a catalyst. When things fall apart, it's not the universe punishing you. It's the universe clearing the path for something better. But the only way to get to that better place is by staying present in the storm. If you run away from discomfort, you block the transformation. But if you sit with it, if you breathe, feel, and stay aligned, you ride the wave instead of being crushed by it. You learn to say, I don't need to fix everything right now. I just need to stay connected to myself. I need to stay in flow. Tools to hold your center during crisis 1. The body is your anchor when fear arises. The body often goes into fight or flight mode. Your heart races, your muscles tighten, and your breath becomes shallow. That's why the first thing to do is always return to the body. Place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating. Then put both feet on the ground and say silently, I am here. I am safe. I am supported. Start breathing slowly. Let your body know we're not in danger. We are just passing through turbulence. This simple act grounds your energy and opens the doorway back to flow. 2. Embrace the void in spiritual growth. There is often a phase known as the void. It's the space between what was and what will be. It's confusing, empty, and uncertain. But the void is not nothingness. It is the womb of all possibilities. If you are currently in a time of loss or fear, trust that the universe has not abandoned you. You are simply in the space between stories. Quantum flow reminds us that new realities cannot be born unless the old ones are dissolved. And that dissolution process often feels like chaos. But when you understand the void is sacred, you stop panicking. You begin listening. You wait for the new energy to emerge from the silence. 3. Release the need to control when fear arises. The instinct is to grip tighter, to control, fix, and solve everything right away. But control is the opposite of flow. Quantum energy responds not to pressure, but to presence. The more you try to force things, the more resistance you create. Instead, try surrendering, not giving up, but letting go. Ask yourself, what can I let go of right now? What am I trying to control that is not mine to manage? And then release it through breath, movement, tears, or prayer. In that surrender, you create space for divine intelligence to do its work. Milky Way stories of staying in flow. Let me share a real-life story from a student of quantum flow. Someone will call Mai. Mai lost her job unexpectedly. Fear crept in fast. How will I pay rent? What if I can't find work again? But instead of spiraling, she went into her practice. She spent the first 3 mornings breathing deeply, dancing to move the fear, and writing affirmations like, I am supported, I am open to miracles, something better is on its way. By day 4, a friend randomly introduced her to a freelance opportunity aligned with her passions. By day 10, she had more income than before. Mai didn't push or panic. She aligned. Another story comes from a man named Jason. After a painful breakup, he fell into despair. But through quantum flow, he learned how to grieve consciously. Every morning, he let the tears fall. He breathed through the pain, and he whispered to himself, I trust this is leading me to a deeper love. A year later, he met someone who was truly aligned with his soul. These stories aren't magic. They're what happens when you stay in the current of life instead of swimming against it. Questions TO bring you back to flow when fear shows up. Here are a few gentle questions to ask yourself. What am I feeling right now? Without judgment? What does my body need in this moment? What can I surrender that is not mine to control? What energy do I want to align with today? These questions aren't meant to fix the problem. They are meant to bring you back into flow, into the present, where all power exists. If you've come this far, then something inside you is already shifting. You've begun to remember that you are not a passive character in the story of your life. You are a conscious creator, a frequency tuner, a quantum traveler. But how do we actually jump timelines? How do we shift from a version of reality based on fear, lack, and limitation to one filled with peace, abundance, and aligned purpose? In this final part, we explore what it really means to experience a quantum leap, not just as an idea, but as a lived transformation. What is a quantum jump? In physics, a quantum jump is a sudden shift from one energy level to another, no in-between. Just boom, you're in a different state. Likewise, in your life, you can experience moments when something clicks inside, and your entire perspective changes. It may look like ending a toxic cycle overnight, feeling a deep self-worth you never had before, manifesting something that seemed impossible because you finally believed you were worthy. Quantum flow teaches us that these breakthroughs don't come from pushing harder. They come from aligning more deeply, and often the leap comes right after the surrender. How to prepare for a quantum breakthrough? 1. Clear your channel to jump into a higher timeline. Your energy must be clean. That means releasing resentment, judgment, shame, anything heavy that lowers your vibration. When you do your breath work, your movement, your meditations, you're not just relaxing. You're cleansing your field to make space for a new version of you. 2. Speak the frequency of your future. Words are spells. What you speak becomes the code your energy responds to. So ask yourself, how does the higher version of me speak? Do they say things like, I'm always broke, I can't do this, I'm stuck? Or do they say, I am rising, I trust my path, I'm ready for the miracle? Speak from your future self. Let their voice echo through your now. 3. Step into it before it's visible. The biggest illusion of the 3D world is, I'll believe it when I see it. But in the quantum world, you must believe it first, then you'll see it. That means acting as if, walking as if, breathing as if, smiling as if. When you embody the energy of your desired reality before it arrives, you collapse time. You bring the future into the now. Examples of quantum leaps. There's a man named Fuck who used to live in a small apartment, struggling with money and self-doubt. Every morning, he imagined waking up in a beautiful home, doing work he loved, surrounded by peace. He felt it in his body. He blessed the version of himself already living that life. 3 months later, an unexpected job opportunity came, and within a year, he was living the exact life he had imagined. Or Lila, A single mom who felt unworthy of love. But through her practice, she stopped waiting to be loved and started loving herself fiercely. She began smiling at herself in the mirror. She wrote letters to her future partner and felt their presence with her. Not long after, someone walked into her life who matched her frequency. Not because she was looking, but because she was ready. These are not coincidences. These are shifts born from alignment.